Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' His D. About to react to this vid by Millionaire Post. This is dumbest rappers who lost millions and went completely broke. And they got Lil Kim in the thumbnail. Damn. Let's see what happened with these people. Let's watch.
Hey, millionaire. Have you ever wondered how successful rappers afford so many luxuries? As you may know, rap is a form of music that has become very popular in recent years. However, even the biggest artists in this genre are forced to live up to the expectations of their fans and prove that they really own the jewelry, mansions, and luxury cars they constantly brag about in their songs and videos. That's why this lifestyle, replete with heavy gold chains and diamonds, has led many artists to complete bankruptcy. In this video, we're going to tell you about some of the dumbest rappers who went completely broke and lost everything to please their ego and keep their fans happy. So let's dive in.
Not them showing Bow Wow. Y'all ain't shit.
Number 11. Nelly. At the start of the 2000s, there weren't many rappers or pop musicians more prominent and popular than Nelly. Country Grammar, the artist's first album, sold over 10 million copies in the United States, and Nellyville sold over 6 million. Nelly made millions from his groundbreaking, melodic, half-song, half-rap music, but the trouble began when he failed to
do
pay
me
his
like you
taxes
should. Suck
on
me
those
good.
earnings.
Fuck me good.
The federal government placed a lien on the
He has some
rapper's
bops.
finances in August 2016. The Internal Revenue Service claimed that the rapper owed more than $2.4 million in back taxes.
Ooh.
Just a few months after the Missouri Department of Revenue convinced Nelly to pay $115,000 in unpaid state taxes, which, when combined with 3 years of interest, resulted in a bill of $150,000. Foreclosure and seizure was the way he managed to pay the debt. Number 10.
Damn,
Nas. At the time of this video,
what I'm not about to let you do is play Nas, because Nas got real rich off Bitcoin, I heard. So I heard he's doing well. Don't do my nigga.
Nas is worth an estimated $70 million. However, it was not always this way after he struck fame. Nas has had a long and successful career, appearing nearly 24 times on the Billboard Hot 100 chart between 1994 and 2018. In 2005, he married fellow artist Khalees, but things quickly went south. She filed for divorce in 2009 while pregnant with their first child. Regardless of what went wrong in their marriage, Nas's difficult financial situation became clear during the divorce. According to Essence, while negotiating the amount of child support Nas would pay, the rapper claimed he owed his manager $700,000 and the IRS millions. However, he was still required to pay more than $50,000 in support each month. He might not have had the money, though, because Khalees claims Nas wasn't fulfilling his obligations before they divorced. The judge ruled that he owed her $300,000 in back child support and alimony. However, Nas claimed that paying the amount would bankrupt him. His lawyer claimed he earned significantly less than the $150,000 Khalees claimed Nas made per month. Nas then lost his Georgia home in 2012 after failing to make mortgage payments. The bank took it and auctioned it off. Khalees wasn't the only ex who didn't get paid. According to TMZ, Nas's ex took him to court in 2014, claiming he was a repeat criminal Nas supporter who owed her more than $11,000 in child support. Since then, Nas has gotten back up on his feet and made a series of great investments through his venture capital firm, which has allowed him to be worth $70 million.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't do him.
Number 9.
He turned it around. I don't know
Bow
about
Wow
these
began releasing music when he was 13 years old. Since then, he's had hit records and branched out into acting, starring in films and TV shows. So you think he'd have saved up some money over the years. But, based on what he told a judge in 2012, that couldn't be further from the truth. Bow Wow told the judge that he only made $4,000 a month and had $1,500 in his bank account during a child custody hearing. At that moment, he told them he also leased a modest vehicle. That's probably because he leased a Ferrari F430 4 years before and had fallen behind on payments within months. When the leasing company arrived to collect their money, Bow Wow was hit with a bill for more than $200,000. He didn't pay it, and by 2012, the total had risen to nearly $300,000. By 2017, he still didn't appear to be able to afford the lifestyle he imagined he should, projected online. He posted an Instagram photo of a private jet with the caption, "Flying to New York in a private jet." But then someone saw him flying commercial and tweeted a photo of him. Another internet investigator discovered that the image of the private jet was taken from the website of a Florida company. In 2018, he referred to money as evil and stated that he would give it away to fans. So perhaps he's always wanted to be broke. Number 8. MC Hammer. MC Hammer had every reason to believe that the fat times would never end. His 1990 album, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em, is still one of the best-selling hip-hop albums of all time.
Really?
At the time, Forbes estimated Hammer's net worth to be around $33 million. But just 6 years later, he declared bankruptcy, becoming one of the most well-known celebrity financial disasters of all time. According to Time, the first was the $30 million mansions. Then, there was what had to be the most epic entourage ever. Time reports that Hammer had 200 employees on his payroll, which cost him $500,000 per month.
What?
But Hammer told Oprah that it could be $1 million a month at times. He stated that he had several hundred creditors when he filed for bankruptcy. His brother, numerous lawyers, the IRS, a couple of banks, American Express, limousine companies, department stores, and utility companies were all on the 36-page list. He even owed football player Deion Sanders $500,000. Hammer claimed he lost his heart and used the money as a blessing. Nonetheless, he told Oprah in 2011 that he wouldn't change anything if he could. He believes in the butterfly effect and believes that if things had turned out differently, he would not have had his children or the peace he now has.
Hey, that's what's important.
Number 7. T-Pain. T-Pain was hip-hop sound in the mid-2000s, but that didn't last forever. When T-Pain's reign came to an end, he'd amassed a staggering sum of money, $40 million, according to the performer, as he told radio show The Breakfast Club in 2019. Then he lost everything. He's fine now, but he blames his losses on bad real estate investments. I was letting my manager handle it, and he was way more optimistic than I was, T-Pain explained. He'd just buy complete dumps and think we'd be fine if we just painted them. We never sold anything we bought. T-Pain claims that at one point, he was so broke that he had to borrow money to buy his kids a Burger King meal. Number 6. DMX. DMX had 5-star albums, making him one of the most successful rappers of the early 1990s. Sadly, not even all the money in the world was enough to maintain his lavish lifestyle and cope with his disastrous finances, which led him to file for bankruptcy in 2009. Although the rapper claimed to have been left penniless, the court denied these claims, alleging that the singer was unjustifiably late with his payments. Things did not improve for the singer, who tried this strategy again 4 years later. After controversial statements from his manager, who claimed that his former manager had caused DMX's financial strains to inhibit his career for several years, the judge again dismissed the artist's bankruptcy filings, claiming that he had more money than he had actually declared. DMX's tragic story ended in 2018, when the IRS came to claim the $2.3 million the singer owed, leading him to spend a year in jail. Unfortunately, DMX passed away in April 2021 due to an overdose. We can learn from DMX how dangerous it can be to spend your money without having real control. No matter how many millions you have in your bank account, money can take years to reach your wallet and only seconds to leave it. So self-control should be your first, second, and third priority. Number 5. Lil Kim. When you're at the top, you never imagine that one day you might end up contemplating your downfall. Yet, Lil Kim had a front row seat as her bank account turned red and her money vanished. After running into major debt problems, her bank account initiated foreclosure proceedings for the first time in 2010 and 2015. However, in 2017, a judge ruled that Kim had been allowed to pay the money she owed, only the singer refused to do so. A year after all these problems, the bank finally foreclosed on her New Jersey mansion. Like many other rappers who underestimated the power of finances until it was too late, Lil Kim did everything she could to save her mansion, purchased in 2002. But her $1 million debts caused the singer to live through a hell of debts, amounting to $4 million, leading her annual income of $825,000 to plummet to earnings of $18,000 a month. Income of $825,000 to plummet to earnings of $18,000 a month by 2018, after just 2 years. Her bankruptcy case was dismissed a year later, and Kim managed to get her finances in order. Today, the singer's net worth stands at $500,000, a paltry amount compared to the money she owned just a few years ago. Another great reminder is that not even all the money in the world can be enough in the hands of the wrong person. Comment below if you think you'd be able to manage $1 million without going broke, and keep watching for the next story. Number 4. 50 Cent. Probably you already know that 50 Cent went from rags to riches and back to rags. Since then, he's become a multi-millionaire again, but at a much smaller scale. Here's the story. As one of the most famous rappers of all time, 50 Cent's life had been filled with controversy. Once one of the richest rappers on the planet, his net worth plummeted from $150 million to $30 million in just a few years. According to the New York Post, 50 Cent had managed to sell 30 million albums, earning an estimated $60 million. In addition to that, 50 Cent was an early investor in vitamin water, which brought him an estimated 50 to 100 million. Along with his record label and clothing company, it is estimated that the real value of the singer's net worth was somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 million by 2010, just over a decade ago. By 2015, 50 Cent was forced to file for bankruptcy, admitting that most of the cars, planes, and jewelry he owned and bragged about were borrowed or rented, dealing a severe blow to his self-esteem. The straw that broke the camel's back was the singer's dispute with singer Rick Ross after a decade of bad relations. According to media reports, it was believed that 50 Cent bought a sex tape of Rick Ross's baby mama and added a voiceover to mock her, making it go viral without her approval or consent. This little prank, bordering on criminal, led to the singer paying $7 million
That's what you get.
after paying another $17 million for copying the design of his G-Unit headphones to another company. 50 Cent eventually ended up filing for bankruptcy because of these lawsuits and his naivety, thinking he could ignore the law and do whatever he wanted. Since then, 50 Cent has managed to bounce back, and his net worth is estimated to be around $30 million at the time of this video. It can't get any crazier than this, right? Well, it can. Keep watching. Number 3. Young Buck.
Oh my God.
When someone adds buck, dollar, or money in their artist name, you know they're going to make some mistake that leads them to lose all their money. After evading hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes, IRS agents raided Young Buck's entire property, taking everything of value, from his dining room chairs to his clocks and crap tables. Jeez, they didn't even leave his refrigerator. The rapper claimed that the agents took many things he needed for work, including his children's items, even though the IRS strongly denied these allegations. As the IRS moved to auction everything off, Buck made a risky move after his music catalog went up for sale and was about to cost him his name as a rapper and his multi-million-dollar brand. Young Buck's tax problems were not entirely his fault, but were due to a miscommunication between his manager and lawyer, arguing over who should pay them. After spending the taxes, both tried to deduct some of Buck's more exorbitant expenses because they were business expenses necessary for the artist to maintain his image. These tax evasion problems, coupled with the claims of 22 creditors amounting to $11.5 million, left Young in complete ruin. However, if one move was not smart on Buck's part, it was trying to hide his income from the bankruptcy court by transferring his money to another bank account. If the court had so ruled, they could have interpreted this action as an attempt at bankruptcy fraud or defrauding his creditors, which could have had worse consequences for this rapper than losing his refrigerator. The lesson of the story? You can't cheat the law, especially if you're trying to hide millions of dollars that no longer belong to you. Number 2. Fat Joe. Despite owning a $105,000 debt that he could have paid off after releasing 10 successful albums, Fat Joe refused to pay it. This attitude would lead to Joe ruining his life years later. According to USA Today, Joe had amassed more than $3 million between 2007 and 2008, yet again refused to pay the $7 million he owed the IRS, believing he could outsmart the authorities while spending his outrageous fortune on unnecessary luxuries. This attitude would make the famous singer face 2 years in prison, leading the singer to realize his actions and work hard to pay off his debt, seeking to avoid the consequences. Joe decided to donate computers to different schools and did a lot of charity work to reduce his sentence. Although the judge considered him, he was forced to serve 4 months in prison, a hard blow to the singer's career. Sadly, the worst consequences of his actions were experienced by his family, especially his 6-year-old daughter, after her classmates made fun of her father going to jail. After paying his debt to society, Joe intended his story to serve as an example to other musicians, imploring young rappers to avoid wasting money on jewelry and private jets as he did. In a 2019 interview, He remarked on the importance of creating a solid business plan to keep the money flowing because of how quickly a fortune can disappear due to excessive tax bills, day-to-day expenses, and bad decisions. What could have been a tragic story about one man's downfall became a source of inspiration and a role model for future singers in an industry that seeks to promote the expensive lifestyles that drive many people into poverty. Even if Fat Joe is not half as rich as he once was, today his awareness and maturity in money management are on another level, and he has learned a valuable lesson. And number 1, Xzibit.
Oh,
Since 1996, Xzibit has had an excellent career in the music world.
Really?
After having 2 gold and 1 platinum albums, money was not a big problem for this artist. Yet no one would imagine that his real source of income would be found in the MTV show Pimp My Ride, hosted by Xzibit. Pimp My Ride was a show where people would bring in old cars in terrible condition for a group of specialists to fix them up and make them look supposedly better. However, after being canceled, the program remained on the air from 2004 to 2007. The cancellation of this program meant a significant loss in the artist's salary, who went from earning $500,000 during 2017 to having earnings of $65,000 in the following year. Of course, an annual salary of $65,000 should be enough money for anyone to live comfortably, but Xzibit didn't live just like anyone else. He owned luxurious homes in California and New Mexico, including a 7,650 square foot mansion. Soon, the good years were gone, leaving Xzibit with no car, looming foreclosure, and $1.4 million in debt. Yet, even canceling the program wasn't enough to convince the authorities about taxes versus all the taxes he had been delinquent on since 2006. Eventually, the IRS came after his money, instantly ending the legendary singer's dreams. Managing large sums of money can be extremely difficult. Even so, some people have made incredibly stupid decisions that have earned them their consequences.
If we learn anything from this video, it should be that we never should play around with taxes, okay? Because they gonna get their money at the end of the day, one way or another, and then you're gonna be looking stupid sitting in jail some goddamn where. I totally understand how they could have this issue, though. It is very easy to pay your taxes when you work a regular job because they come straight out of your check like clockworks. Nothing you can do, all right? They just gonna get their money up front. But when you are self-employed, you get all of your money up front and you have to pay the IRS. So you have to pay them usually in a very large lump sum, and people don't be trying to pay that, all right? Every year when I have to pay my taxes, I'm like, God damn, I owe you all this? Like, it's a lot. And when you're making millions of dollars, just imagine that tax bill. It is in like the hundreds of thousands. Nobody wants to pay that. So I get being like, I'll take care of that later. Anyway, let me go get this Rolex. I understand, wanting to be irresponsible and do that, but you got to pay your taxes, because then you going to, end up looking stupid at the end of the day, because they going to come for you. They going to come and repossess your shit, put you in jail, all that, and you're going to be looking stupid. Anyway, this was wild. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know other videos I'm going to watch, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye!